Hello, anybody watching. My name is Dylan, and I like to build houses in The Sims 4. Today I am continuing with my Wisteria Lane house series, and today is Bree Van de Kamp's house. So 4354 Wisteria Lane. This house ends up having 5 bedrooms and three and a half bathrooms. One half bathroom on the first floor, and another bathroom on the second floor, and then another bathroom on the third floor. And then again with the 5 bedrooms. So it's quite large, and it's the style of a Dutch Colonial house, which is arguably my favorite style of house in real life. And I also really, really enjoy building Dutch Colonial homes in Sims 4 and Sims 3 as well. This house, it's got kind of a interesting history on Desperate Housewives. It's like I said, originally the house that Bree Van de Kamp lives in, and her husband Rex Van de Kamp, and her kids Danielle and Andrew in the first season. And then as the show goes on, the kids get older and they move out. Bree's husband dies, spoiler, and she ends up marrying again in season 3, very early in season 3. She marries Orson Hodge, so she becomes Bree Hodge, and he lives in this house. And then eventually her daughter ends up having an illegitimate child that Bree raises, and her and Orson raise the child together in this house. And it's pretty crazy. Bree's storyline in the TV show really is the one that she starts the show as someone completely different than when the show ends. So she has really this very interesting character arc, and she arguably goes through the most amount of changes while the show goes on. And additionally, her house, which is the one I'm building here, probably goes through the most changes as far as the interior style of it throughout the whole course of the show. The interior of this house changes quite a bit. Maybe not so much the layout of it, but definitely the interior furnishings, which I guess makes sense because Bree is someone who is consistently wealthy throughout the entirety of the show. In fact, I think she's the only housewife who stays wealthy throughout the entire show. And all the other housewives go through money troubles, at least at some point, if not more than once. But she is quite wealthy. She makes a lot of her money, I think, she had a doctor husband they were married for 15 years, and then she ends up becoming something of a minor celebrity, and being she writes a cookbook and becomes this kind of famous cook, or famous, kind of like a Martha Stewart type person. And then she ends up selling the company. Anyway, I love this house. That's all I'm trying to say. And so I did my very best to create this house based on pictures I found on Instagram and Pinterest. And then there's YouTube videos, and you can find the show on Hulu, I think, or at least you could for a while. So this house, it came together pretty quickly for me. It's probably because it is definitely one of my very, very close favorites. I know I say that every house is my favorite, and that's true, but this is definitely at the top of the favorite list. And so I was really excited to do this one, and I think that allowed me to make this house pretty good, and build it pretty quickly, at least compared to some of the other ones. And you wouldn't even think so, because sometimes if you're trying to make a Dutch Colonial house, it takes a little bit longer to do once you're trying to figure out the roof. But this house came together pretty quickly. And then I do have a lot of screenshots as well that we can go through at the end of the video here. So here I am just, I put the lights in off camera, and now I'm just putting in the wallpaper and the flooring. I do change that blue wallpaper that you see. It's very similar to the one I end up choosing in the screenshots, but I did change that. And then there's wood flooring throughout all of the house except in the bedrooms. Other than the master bedroom, there is wood floor in the master bedroom. And then attached to the master bedroom is a really big master bathroom. Now the master bathroom is not actually all that accurate if you were wanting it to be, 100% like what is shown in the TV show, because there's an episode in season 3, I believe, of this show that shows Bree's master bathroom, and it's very big. It has like 2 different showers, 2 different toilets, a big sink. It's got a bathtub in the middle of it. And fun fact, that bathroom that's shown in that episode is actually Marsha Cross, who plays Bree. That's her real life bathroom, because she was on maternity leave when that episode was filmed, and so for most of season 3, or a good chunk of season 3, she wasn't actually in the show because she was very pregnant in real life. But they had to have a reason to get her out of the show for a little bit. But they filmed something in her bathroom, and that was her actual real life bathroom. But trying to make that bathroom in The Sims 4, I just don't like the way it looks. With not having create a style or a color wheel, like the way it's supposed to look, it just doesn't look right. So I took some creative liberties and made the bathroom look a little bit different. But it really, actually, I think it works really well, despite it being different, and it just works. That's definitely one thing that I like to do when I build houses in The Sims 4, is I work really, really hard to make the exterior look like how it's supposed to look. And then I do work on making the interior look how it's supposed to look as well. But I do take liberties with it. I'm never been a person who thinks like, oh, this house, it needs to look exactly, it needs to be exactly what it looks like in the TV show, because it's just, you can't always do that. And even if you can do it, it might not translate very well. So I guess what I'm getting at is, long story short, the bathroom, it does not look like how it's supposed to, but it still works as far as Sims 4 goes. So what I'm building here is originally Bree's garage, but this ends up turning into her test kitchen. So when she's writing her cookbooks and becoming famous, she turns her garage into a kitchen for her to have and to make meals and write her book with her neighbor. So that's what this is here. So on the first floor of that little of this garage, I actually did set it up to be somewhat of a test kitchen, although I left out a fridge and a stove. And I left that out because in Sims 4, or Sims altogether, you know that if you try to have 2 kitchens on one lot, it just turns into a nightmare, and Sims go back and forth between the 2 kitchens as they're cooking, and I don't know why they do that, but they do. We all know they do. It's super annoying. So I did decide just to leave. I made it like a test kitchen, but I left the fridge and stove out. And I think that was a good call. But you'll see that in a second. You'll see that in the screenshots. You'll see what it looks like. And I set it up using some stuff that came with Get Famous. I put some cameras in there to make it look like she's about to film a segment, which she does actually in the TV show in season 5. So I really like how the test kitchen turned out. And then on the second floor, that's it's like a home office on the second floor of her garage. And I like how that turned out too, but I didn't put a computer in there because, they would also, Sims would overly use that room if I put a computer in there, so I decided not to, but you certainly can if you want to download this house. This house is currently on my gallery at Carl Dillinson, and along with my other Wisteria Lane houses as well. So I'm getting to the end of the footage that I have for the house, building the house. I really like the kitchen. It doesn't quite look like how it's supposed to in the show. That's only because there's no color wheel, but I did the best I could. So there's the house there. There's the real life house that it's based on. There's no interior in that house. That house is actually just a shell, but that's the Hollywood lot. And then here's some more screenshots of the house itself. I really like how it turned out. The foundation's a little bit high, but whatever. There's the back of the house. There's the interior here. This is the living room with the blue couch, and it's quite large here. Those gray curtains match perfectly with what's actually in the show, and I love that. This is the dining room here. The only thing that's a little bit different, I think, is the dining room table is a circular table, but I didn't have a circular table that would actually match that very well. There's the kitchen there. You can see my little Bree sim in the background there. There's her kitchen. Like I said, it's not quite as perfect as far as like the colors go, but there was nothing I could do about that, unfortunately, with Sims 4. There is her living area, and then here is her bedroom. I really like her bedroom. She actually has a master closet. Is that the right word? A walk-in closet is what I meant to say. There's the test kitchen right there. Love how that turned out. You can see where a fridge and a stove is supposed to go. There is the office on the second floor. And here is the interior floor plan. So that is my 4354 Wisteria Lane house. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. I just passed 50 YouTube subscribers the other day, which is so crazy to me. I'm so thankful. Thank you so, so much if you've subscribed. I would love it if you do subscribe. I still love you if you don't. But either way, thanks for watching. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.